What's going on, everyone? So I am back and showing us how to find the correlation coefficient for that table that you had earlier. So I would advise you drawing that table just so we can kind of go through this together. But I'll show you once again how to put points into the graphing calculator or put these the scatter plot into the graphing calculator. So just as a reference, so I'm going to click second and I'm going to click 0 just to go down to that catalog again. And we wanted to make sure. Let's see if I can remember exactly what it was. I'll know it when I see it. We wanted to make sure that diagnostic was on. So when our arrow is on diagnostic on, I'm going to click enter and I'm going to click enter again. And our diagnostic is on. All right. So let's go ahead and let's input that data set into a scatter plot. So I'm going to click stat. I'm going to click enter on 1. And I'm going to start inputting my data points. So I had 10. Enter. 15. 20. 25, and 30. Okay, so our X values are increasing. So let's see what happens when let's click over, when we put on our Y values. It looks like our Y values are decreasing. So we know we're gonna have a negative correlation here just because there's a little bit of an opposites thing going on here. 19, 17, 14, 10, and I'll bet that it's a pretty strong correlation that we have here too, and 8. Okay. So let's go ahead and, we don't need to even look at the scatter plots. Let's get right to the data. So I'm going to click stat again. I'm going to move over to calculate. I'm going to scroll down to where it says lin reg ax plus b. I'm going to click enter. If this comes up for you, that's fine. If it doesn't, you could probably just click enter again, but I'm going to scroll down to calculate, click enter. And here is the information that I am given. Now take a look at what the correlation coefficient is. So correlation coefficient is R. So R is equal to negative 0.99352. So that tells us two things. It tells us, one, our correlation coefficient, it is a negative correlation, and it is a very, very, very strong correlation. Okay, we can get slightly stronger, but we can't really get much stronger. So it is a very strong correlation. So if we were to take a look at our data points, which we can, let's see if I can remember how to get to our data points. I don't make scatter plots too often here. But let's go right to our graph. So I'm gonna click graph, but that wasn't there. So I think zoom 9 was what we wanted to click on. Yeah, so take a look. Notice how our data, if we were to make a line through this, it would be a pretty easy line to make. We could almost see the line, minus 1 or 2 little areas. We can almost see a solid line that could go through those. And that's our data. It tells us again. So let me go back to here. It told us that that is our correlation coefficient. It's going to be negative, and it's going to be strong. So negative doesn't mean weak. Remember that. All right. So it's going to be negative and it's going to be strong. Okay. And that's it. That is our how to find the correlation coefficient. So get to those practice problems. And again, if you have any questions, any things that you are wondering about, please jot them down and bring them up in class the next day. All right. This is all new to us. So please jot them down, bring them up in class, and we'll talk about it then. I'll see y'all then.